Hey, I'm Brian Brand. I'm pastor of Liberty Baptist Church, and this has certainly been an interesting week for all of us as we have been concerned about the coronavirus outbreak that's taking place around the world. What I want to do is to take a few moments to share with you our plan for this weekend here at Liberty Baptist Church. Today, as I am filming this, is Friday, March the 13th. And again, I want to address our plan for this weekend because our ongoing plan for Liberty Baptist Church is we're going to remain fluid week to week. As we gain new information, as things change, we will change our plan and keep you informed of that. So the question is, well, how are you staying on top of the information? Obviously, I'm watching all the different reports that you are as well and have access to the same information that you do. But I've made it a little more personal to us, and then also I have asked some of the medical personnel who are involved in our church to put together an advisement team. And so I'm going to be meeting with them week to week to get their opinion and information of the things that they are hearing within the medical profession so that we can have current information also for our area. They will advise us on statements, they will advise us on any future closings, and they will also advise us on how we can stay connected as a faith community and do ministry for such a time as this. You know, whenever we have a situation like this, we have to address two things. Not only must we address the pandemic, but we also must address the pandemonium. And the pandemic is very real. There are people who are getting sick, and we need to be concerned for them, but we also need to be concerned that we don't make one another sick. And so how do we take the pandemic seriously here at Liberty Baptist Church? Right now, we are canceling no events. We are moving forward for this weekend. We have a men's breakfast on Saturday morning. On Sunday, we will have our regular schedule of services. And so we are asking you, just like we do every single week, to take personal responsibility. If you're sick, please don't come. If you have a cough, if you have a runny nose, if you feel sick to your stomach, if you are showing symptoms of sickness, we ask that you just stay at home. We have wonderful means of delivery with our live stream on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. And we'd love for you just to stay there and watch that, make comments, and to be involved in that way. And we'll see you when you get better. We are being advised by the CDC and yesterday by a statement by our governor that the elderly are very much at risk. And so if you are a senior citizen, especially with compromised health, even our advisement team said that it may be a good time for you just to stay home and not put yourself at any kind of risk. We, as a faith community, though, don't want you to disconnect. And so we're going to be doing some things that we're still kind of working on this plan, but over the next couple of weeks as the needs arrive, we are going to put together delivery plans of goods and services for our seniors who are just afraid to get out or may not feel comfortable getting out because they have compromised systems and they are at risk. But we're going to connect with you. We're going to come to you and we're going to safely meet those needs that you have. The other thing that we would ask this Sunday is that we do, like everyone is asking everyone else to do, and that is to limit social contact. So if we don't shake your hand, hey, don't be offended. It's not you, it's me, right? So we want to take care of one another in that way. We are a loving, affectionate church, and we like to shake hands and hug a neck. But you know what? Now may not be the best time for that. And all the introverts said, amen. So this coming Sunday and weeks ongoing, we're going to ask you just to say hi and to talk to one another, to greet one another, but to refrain from physical contact. The other thing that we would ask you to do that we ought to be doing all the time, and that is just practicing good hygiene. We ought to be washing our hands. We ought to be taking care of ourselves, taking care of our bodies, that we are clean, not just for ourselves, but also for others. And I assure you that we are doing everything that we can to disinfect our building and also provide hand sanitizer for you as you come in on Sunday, and we would ask that you would use that. So what about the pandemonium? The pandemic is very real, and so is the fear. Sometimes fear is spread by misinformation, sometimes it's spread by speculation, but there's one thing we all know about the human condition is that we go through a lot of things in life, but man, there's something about sickness that really makes us afraid. We've had outbreaks of things before, and I can't say that anytime we've had those outbreaks that I just shrug my shoulders and go on. Man, it does make you afraid. It makes you afraid for yourself. It makes you afraid for your family. But we don't make great decisions in fear. Whenever we are afraid, we make decisions for right now, and we don't really pay attention to the future. And so the Bible counsels us in 2 Timothy chapter 1, Paul is writing to a young man who's a pastor who doesn't have great health, who's very afraid, and they're going through persecution, and he's suffering from criticism, and he just doesn't really know what to do with himself. And so Paul gives him a great statement. His name is Timothy. And Paul says to him, he says, "As I remember your tears, I long to see you that I may be filled with joy. I am reminded of your sincere faith, a faith that first dwelt in your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice, and now, I am sure, dwells in you as well. For this reason, I remind you to fan the flame of the gift of God which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God gave you a spirit, not of fear, but of power and of love and of self-control." You know, in this time of quarantine and isolation, one of the things that we cannot do is we cannot quarantine the gospel. You know, we need to see this as a church and as a Christian community, not a time for us to stop, but for us to take on a great opportunity. Now, we may have to adjust and take that great opportunity in a lot of different ways, but here's the thing. In what's going on, we can't forget who we are and who Christ has made us to be. We ought to be people of sound mind. We ought to be making great decisions as the people of God. We ought to be taking an opportunity to minister to people and help people see truth and speak to fear in ways that maybe they've never heard and never experienced before. We have to be careful on social media. Even myself, I've made some posts and different things, and you know, I always give myself 3 filters, and one is it truthful? Number 2 is it helpful? And number 3 is, does it point people to the gospel? And you know what? I put a post on social media just this morning that someone that I love very much in my life made contact with me and said, you know what you said may be right, but I don't think it's helpful. You want people to listen to you about the deeper issues. You want people to listen to your sermon on Sunday because I'm preaching about what's the biblical response to both pandemic and pandemonium. And she said, you know what, you don't want to take something and say it in 2 sentences that people just know what your opinion is and they miss the deeper things that you want to say. And I think she's dead on right. And because it wasn't helpful, it wasn't helping people come to the gospel, so you know what I did? I took it down. Even though a lot of people liked it and a lot of people want to share it, and boy, that really kind of heightens your old ego and you feel good about yourself. But man, it really wasn't helpful, even though it was truthful and it wasn't pointing people to the gospel. So I removed it. And we may want to think about that as a Christian community. It's not just what's happening, but it's about who we are. And who we are is a people that are very much living in a time that there's a very real pandemic and there's very much real pandemonium. And we want to address both. So to sum it all up, here it is. This weekend at Liberty, this is our plan for right now. We want to take care of each other, but we are going to be open. We're going to have the men's breakfast at the Highway 76 campus on Saturday morning. My friend Scott Humphrey's going to be here to speak for that. I'm really looking forward to it. He just contributed to a book called The Wow Factor on leadership, and so it's going to be a good Saturday morning for us. And hey guys, we're going to feed you well. So I hope that you'll be at our Highway 76 campus 9 a.m. on Saturday morning if you're feeling well. And the other thing is, we're going to be having all of our services on Sunday morning. Our 10 a.m. service at Highway 76, our 11 a.m. service at Fort Oglethorpe, our 5 p.m. service at Spring Place. But we would ask that you would take personal responsibility. If you are sick or you've even been around anyone who there's any suspicion that they They may have anything contagious. Maybe you just need to stay home and watch it on our live stream. Help us stay connected, and we'll help you to meet the needs that you have. But we're going to roll on Sunday with our services, but we're going to take care of each other. We're going to take care of the building. We're going to provide disinfectant. We're not going to shake hands, and we're going to love one another, right? So how do you stay informed? We have several sources. One is our app, LBC Engage. We'll send you push notifications there. So that's a great way to stay in contact. Let us know if you'd like to be on our calling post list. I will be sending out calling posts as the situation changes and we stay fluid and make adjustments, and we'll convey those to you right over the phone. Our website, libertybaptistchurch.ws, and then also our Facebook page. Go there, and we post information as frequently and as quickly as we get it. We will push it out to you so that you can share it with your friends and let people know. But hey, listen, let's all stay safe and stay concerned and be loving and careful with one another. But hey, listen, let's remember that we don't make great decisions out of fear. We make great decisions out of fact, and we also bring in our faith. And this is a great opportunity for the people of God to minister the gospel. So you make a great decision, and if I see you this weekend, I'd love to see you at Liberty. If I don't see you this weekend, we'll see you soon. God bless, and have a great weekend.